Hello everyone, I'm Sidhant. From today I will start the left out part of the module B of the principle. I'm going to complete it. I think only 5 chapters are left, and today I will start the chapter number 30, which is financial inclusions and the financial literacy. So before starting, I would like to say something about the last stage revision or the last stage preparation tricks or tips, whatever you want to take it. So what is important now? There is no need to read the books or take the notes. There is no need at the last moment of the time, especially the week before the examination. What is required to do is to revise the things. And how the revision could be done: take any of the short notes from any website you can download, read the short notes and practice the question bank only. The practice gives the enough revision to you, and you will easily score a very good marks in the examination. So that's information I would like to share with you. Now moving on to the chapter, that is the financial inclusions and the financial literacy. Here, what do you mean by financial inclusion? Why there is so much of buzz about financial inclusion? Because India is a country where even today, where India is growing at a rate of about 7% of the GDP, but still we do lots of transactions in an informal way. That's why. And since informality of anything doesn't count the economic progress of our country, so the country is so much focusing on the financial inclusion. So what is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion is nothing but to access to the mainstream financial services to all excluded people. So what all people is doing right now, what the people, especially the rural people, do, they are very averse to come to the bank. Because there is lots of reasons why they are very averse to come to the bank. They are very close to the micro institutions or informal institutions where they took loans at a very high rate. So they are very friendly towards them, but they are not friendly to the banks, even though the banks are giving everything at a very cheaper rate. And you can say that the banks are really the main service provider of the country, but they are not coming to the bank. So lots of things are counted as an informal. There is informal money, informal unorganized things. So in order to make it count to the economic progress or the country's growth, the financial inclusions is needed. So what all the initiatives by the Reserve Bank of India to promote financial inclusion is the microcredit up to 50,000 of rupees, no frills account, relaxation in the KYC, small deposit account, small depositors, or the banking correspondent and the banking or the business facilitator. Business correspondent you can also say, though banking correspondent is more famous. Now, what is that relaxation in the KYC? Relaxation in the KYC means that in a very simple documents, in a very less amount of documents, the person can open the bank accounts. Now, what is BCBDA? Before BCBDA, there was a concept called the no frills account. It means you don't need to keep, it simply means that zero balance account. Now the no frills account has been moved into the BSBDA. Here the KYC is taken as less as possible and the account being opened with a restricted mode. There is lots of restrictions in the credit and the debit and even the transactions like the maximum 4 transactions in a month, all these are the included in the BCBDA, that is Basic Saving Bank Deposit Account. Now the banking correspondents play a very important role in the financial inclusions. What it does, it has its area of operation. It moves from one place to another in order to give banking services, the door-to-door banking services they can also give according to their needs. So this banking correspondent plays a very important role in the financial inclusions. Now what is range from at what extent he can give the services. Now in the metro areas it's 5 kilometer, in the urban or rural areas it's 30 kilometer. Now next, what is the difference between the banking correspondent versus the banking facilitator? Now the difference is that the banking correspondent can accept small value deposits, but the banking facilitator can't accept that deposits, though the facilitator can facilitate the services like remittances or the balance showing or simply any other banking services like the insurance, Atal Pension Yojana, and all they can give or serve. Next, the complaint against the banking correspondent. Okay, let's say if some person have any complaint regarding the banking correspondent, as more often than not we see that the banking correspondents are not very friendly with the customers. So to whom they can complain? They can complain either to the banking branch or if they want to, and if the bank is unable to resolve the complaint, they can complain it to the banking ombudsman, which is a whole authority of the Reserve Bank of India to solve the issue, the banking correspondent. Now the transaction by business correspondent must be reflected in the bank books by the end of the day or the next working day, not more than that. So whatever the money the banking correspondent is taking from the customer should inquire about. If he inquire at the end of the day or at the next day, and if the amount hasn't been credited, then the action should be taken against the BC or banking correspondent. But so they have to do the transactions, whatever the money they had taken from the customers, they have to deposit it to the bank at the end of the day or maximum by the next working day. Now what all the challenges to the financial inclusions? The main challenges in the India is the poor infrastructure and the connectivity. Next, the lack of financial literacy is one of the major challenges to the financial inclusions. Next, the non-availability of the documents. These are the challenges of the financial inclusions. Though the RBI has worked for the category C of the financial inclusions, and that's why the introduction of the BCBDA accounts is part of that thing. Now next, the products offered by the banking correspondent channel. Now the main products offered by the banking correspondent are small saving account, means the account can be opened by the person and that account is a small saving account, means BCBDA account. Next, the FD RD low minimum deposit. They can also open the fixed deposit RD recurring deposit, but the amount should be low and there is a threshold value that is being given time and again by the bank or the Reserve Bank of India. Now the remittance is also allowed to some extent to the banking correspondent. Now the microcredit is also allowed. Let's say the amount given to the needy ones, like the weaker section of the society, they can give a credit to the up to a very small much amount to the person who needs it. The microcredit is also allowed. And next, the general insurance. The insurance as being given by the scheme that is being run by the government can be offered by the banking correspondent to its customers. Okay, that's it. It's a very small chapter. I will take the next chapter tomorrow, might be. Okay, thank you.